Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Team Tuesday. This week we have with us Ramya Shastri. Hey, Ramya, welcome back.
Hi, Vasco. Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
Good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have you back to talk about teams. But before we dive into the team story, do share with us, Ramya, as a Scrum Master, what was the book that most influenced you?
Honestly, if I have to be really honest, when I had started my journey as a Scrum Master, for me, I just followed the Scrum Guide, to be very honest. And as I mentioned, I just chanced upon this role as a Scrum Master. I didn't even know anything about this earlier. So I kind of relied a lot on thought leaders helping me out, or maybe specifically LinkedIn helped me a lot, wherein thought leaders used to write about a lot of stuff, and I kind of picked up on a lot of things. So in my journey, initially, I did not kind of read much books or many books. But then now, if someone has to maybe read any book, one book I highly recommend is Driving Value Through Sprint Goal by Martin Dalman. So I think any Scrum practitioner, be it a product owner, developer, Scrum Master, or if there is a role outside that Scrum team, if there are any managers, everyone must read that book. That's a game changer.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely put the link in the show notes for people to find both of those references easily. And now we turn our attention to teams with whom we work every single day. And because of that, we also know that teams themselves, they develop their own little behaviors or patterns that eventually lead to problems. So, Ramya, tell us the story of a team. Give us a little bit about the context and then walk us through the steps of how those small little things perhaps kind of grew and eventually became a problem for that team.
Correct. So I will typically give you an example, or maybe talk about one of the projects wherein there was, a lot of fear culture within the team.
Can
I'll
you
tell
give an
you
example
how.
of what that
Yeah,
meant?
yeah. Yes. I'll tell you how. So when I had been hired for that particular project internally within the organization, say as an agile coach, I was working there as an agile coach, but then they said that we are following Scrum. So obviously, even though you're an agile coach, you'll have to help us in the Scrum framework. So typically, I had become a Scrum master over there, right? So when I had went to that project and I had seen teams, right? So one of the peculiar thing that I had observed in that team was there was a pin drop silence in the daily Scrum. Okay, and there was they called it as a daily Scrum, and they used to run it for almost 45 minutes to 1 hour. And initially, obviously, I was just trying to figure out what is going on with this team. And obviously, I cannot just go there and change things randomly, right? So I was just observing what is going on, what are the team dynamics like, and so on and so forth. So I was observing. It was just, I think, 1 week into the project, or week and a half or so, and there was a manager within the team who was kind of managing all, I think, 4 to 5 teams under him. And that manager was kind of playing the role of a Scrum Master very subtly. I mean, he was not even a surface level Scrum Master. He was just given that title as a Scrum Master and not playing really as a Scrum Master. And they used to have daily Scrum at early in the morning. So for us in India, what we prefer is we start our day late, maybe typically after 10 o'clock, or maybe from 11 onwards, because most of us clients are from the West, right? So we need to kind of manage the time zone differences. So we start our day late. And I was observing that this team is having daily Scrum at 9 a.m. And it was lasting for like 1 hour, sometimes 1.5 hours. So I thought, I mean, why is no one raising this point? I was clearly understanding that something is, I mean, I was sensing that the vibe of this team is not at all good. So I was literally thinking, how do I break this ice? How do I kind of open the people up? I mean, that was one of the biggest things, at least to get that entry within the team, and also to let them talk was a very difficult thing. And even in the daily scrum, just the manager was talking. No one, I mean, everyone was on mute initially. No one on the camera. I mean, no one on the video. Just the manager. Whoever name he used to call out, that person will answer. And this manager used to bash left, right, center. The team members, why this didn't happen, that didn't happen, all those things. So I somehow uh, started having one-on-one connects with them. So when I started
With the
having
whole
that,
team, the one-on-ones with the whole team?
yeah, one-on-one individual with individual team members.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, with the experience that now I have as a agile coach, I know that when we say we are working in a team, not every team member is alike, right? Even our fingers on our hand are different, right? So there would be at least one person who would be courageous enough to talk about some things that is going wrong. We cannot expect everyone to talk about. So I was just trying to test waters. Who is that person who can talk about such things? And like I guessed, there was one person who talked about it. I just happened to check with that person. Are you guys okay with this timing of the daily scrum? So, and I asked this with to each team member, and everyone like, no, yeah, it's okay. I mean, that's how it has been, and all those things. So there was one person who said, you know what, we are not fine with this timing. I said, why didn't you speak up then? Why didn't you tell your manager that you are not okay with this timing? So that person told that no one is talking about it. Why should I talk? And I was like, no, there is something wrong with this team. So I started kind of peeling each layer of the onion, and I discovered that they were fearing that manager so much that all the decisions of the teams were taken by that manager. So he used to just come, dictate the terms, and everyone used to obey because of the fear. So that's when I started having an interaction more often, and I started somehow breaking them up. I mean, having some interactions. I insisted them to come on video, do some kind of activities together. And when I started doing that activity, initially only I was on the video, and none of them came. So I kind of started requesting people, it would be great if you can come on video, and so on and so forth. And one person started coming on video, then another person started coming on video. This way, I told them that each sprint we will have a team building activity, and since there were like 4 to 5 teams, I gave them that ownership, saying that now you have to come up with the team activity. You design a team activity for rest of us. Let's see what how creative you can get. So that was just a kind of a thing that I started saying then. And one team started doing that, another team started doing that. By the end of the second sprint, people started opening up, and I was surprised and shocked to know that uh, those people were a part of the same team since 2 years, and they said we did not even see each other. This is the first time we are seeing each other. And I was like, I don't know what is going wrong. So, and that's when I started then openly having a discussion. Then I kind of asked them that why is the environment of this team so bad? I mean, I'm getting such a bad vibe. Why don't you guys call? And they told me that no one gave us this courage that we should be speaking up.
And actually, that's a very important point, that sometimes our job is just to give people permission to talk about the things that they already want to talk about, right? And that example of coming up with those team building activities and then slowly passing on the responsibility to the team members, and of course with the hope of opening up the conversation, right, to be able to address the topics that were hard to address. That is so cool, because that's what we need to do. We need to help the team take over the situation where they are so that they don't feel like they are victims or passengers in somebody else's storyline, like in this case, potentially even that manager's storyline, right?
Absolutely. And I feel that, I mean, had someone be courageous enough to maybe bring these people together, entire team together, and maybe put their feet down, saying that, you know what, boss, this is not how we should work. And they would have done this long back. They would have not suffered this so much from last like 2 years. That's what they said, right? I mean, they were suffering so much for past 2 years, since past 2 years, because no one had a courage. So this is what I say, that, I mean, if they could have been little bit courageous, if they could have made that bold step, this situation wouldn't have happened, and at this larger scale, right? Like, no one is talking, everyone is quiet, only people who have been asked to talk they are speaking up, and no one is even raising any questions. They are slogging, working over weekends. Nothing was right in that project. And typically, when I went there as a Scrum Master, this was that typical project where I had to counsel them. I know that that's not my job, right? I mean, as a Scrum Master.
Yeah, because they were probably feeling quite stressed out and frustrated and disconnected
Correct.
from their team members. Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that. Ramya, this was a great story. Thank you for sharing all of those tips.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Tuesday is Team Day here on the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. But tomorrow we talk about something that goes beyond the work we do with the teams. We will talk about how to lead change and what our guests have learned from leading and participating in change programs during their career. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.